everybody.
I'm Mo.
And I'm Katie, and this is The Mo and Katie Show. We're two friends from two different worlds, coming together in harmony for one podcast. We're random, ridiculous, and have been taking humor seriously since 2018.
Each week, we'll share two positive news stories, a quirky fact, today's weird holiday, a shared experience, and we may even play a game, all while punning the crap out of each other.
No, you can't say that.
Fine.
It's The Mo and Katie Show. Gratitude, humor, positivity. Hey, everybody.
I'm Mo.
And I'm Katie, and this is
The Mo and Katie Show. I almost tried to...
Did the little head bubble
tried
thing?
to not... I tried not to. But. How are you?
This is... I'm doing all right. There's a lot going on, so my head's a little spinny. How about you? Same?
I'm retired.
You're the busiest retired person I know, so don't even...
How many retired people do you know?
I know
one.
I know several, and you're the busiest of all of them.
Well, don't be so accusatory about it. My goodness, that was aggressive.
We hope that you are all ending your September with lots of wonderful things. Not quite the end of September.
I was just going to say, isn't there another?
Yeah, there's one more week. But
there's a lot of Septembers and
There's
Friday.
a whole lot of September. So many. But just a big hello to everybody who's listening, whatever you happen to be doing. Maybe you're driving the kids
raking
to
leaves.
School. Maybe you're raking. I don't think it's leave time yet, though.
It's fall.
Fall. We're starting to see the leaves change. I'm very excited. And you are getting ready to do another river cruise, and you're probably going to see a lot of really cool foliage as you do that.
Yep. I'm excited.
So that's exciting. Yeah. Mo's going to be back on the Ohio River.
Ohio River.
Yeehaw.
I'm not sure why I said it that way or why you did that. But
well, and
apparently goes straight into Texas.
And
the
we
Ohio
have
River.
a cricket in the studio today, so you'll hear just an occasional. There it is. So crickets, foliage, the Ohio River, all things going on in the world. Mo, tell us what else is going on in the world.
Drones.
Of course. How did I leave that out of the first list?
No, I just thought that was interesting. This was interesting because of course, we're dog lovers. We love the dogs.
We are.
And of course, all good news comes from the UK. So there was a lady over in the UK. Her name is Erica Hart. And over the past 7 years, she's been using her drone to help find and rescue dogs who run away.
Oh, what a great idea.
Yeah. And
That's fabulous.
Earlier this month, she was at work and she got a phone call from somebody whose dog they had just rescued had run away.
Aw.
And so she ran home, dropped what she was doing, got her drone, and within 20 minutes was able to spot the dog. And then from there, she says it's like a military operation. They just kind of talk the owners into getting the dog to where she... But over 7 years, she's rescued over 200 dogs.
Wow.
Yeah, and she does it free of charge.
That's so smart.
Yeah.
That makes so much sense.
Well, and I think this story resonated with me because when I had my dog, like I had him 29 days after I rescued him, I had to go on a work trip and he ran away from the dog sitters. And I'm just thinking if we had a drone, I mean, these kind of things and all these technology. But so Erica Hart, where were you in 2011 when I needed you?
Were there drones in 2011? I don't even know if drones were a thing yet.
They were.
Non-military thing.
They were.
But that's so brilliant because dogs can, go anywhere. They can go through the trees and climb under things, and they don't stick to, roads.
Right.
They can go anywhere. So that's really a smart.
Well, I remember when Marcel ran away, we would leave bowls of food out, and we would arrange the food in a certain pattern so we could tell if it'd been disturbed. Of course, we have no idea if a homeless person or a raccoon or an elk, disrupted.
An elk?
But
I wasn't expecting that.
Well, no one is. That's why you have to leave the food in a little circle. But yeah, just kind of cool. So like, here's we'll put this up on the video, but there's like a picture of the dog, and they've got the dog circled right there.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I just thought that was really, really neat. So
that's right. There's your dog. There he is.
If your dog runs away, get a drone.
That's so brilliant.
Or a leash. I don't know which is
over 200 dogs.
She's rescued over 200 dogs over the past 7 years.
Amazing.
Yeah. So Erica, thank you very much.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah,
you've made a lot of families very happy.
Yes.
And a lot of dogs very happy because I'm sure the dog's like, I'm not home, but I don't know where I am.
Well, you got to wonder too, though. I mean, are the dog running away because it's not a good, happy life? So I don't know if the dogs are very happy, but the owners certainly are.
Is the dog running away with ideas of stardom and start a new life, career?
It's hard to tell.
It's hard to tell.
But it worked for Benji and Lassie, so it's hard to say. But that was definitely pre-drone.
Benji was like my jam. Anyway, all right. Well, that's fantastic.
Yeah. So
my
thank you,
good
Erica.
news does not come from England, surprisingly enough.
What?
But it comes from Japan.
Yeah. So.
I thought you'd be a little bit more excited about this, being that you have Japanese heritage.
Thank you.
So, the fun thing about Japan
Wait, is this a quirky fact or is this your what's going on in the world?
This is my what's going on in the
But
world.
you could come on and combine them, right?
No,
So we don't have...
no, they need to be separate. I do believe Sarah Roos commented a couple weeks ago when you threatened for the quirky fact to go away. Her comment was, save the quirky fact. I'm going to get a t-shirt, save the quirky fact.
like a whale breaching the internet or something?
Something like that.
Okay, so anyway.
Japan recently broke its own record for the number of centenarians in it.
Those are people who watch the tombs.
No, they are not. They are people that live to be over 100 years old. And the Japanese people have the highest percentage of their population living to be over 100.
Oh, good
0.06 of their population lives.
If I'm only half Japanese and I'm over 50,
yeah,
any day now. Sorry.
Something like that. Well, they say that they attribute this to work ethic, a seafood-rich diet.
I see food, I eat
deep it. Little animal cracker action when you first got here today. Deep family ties, and now improving medical technology, that they are letting the longest people who live on Earth live even longer. So here's the statistics. I think this is interesting. In 1963, they had 153 centenarians. It topped over 1,000 in 1981, 10,000 in 1998, and in 2012, they have over 50,000 people in Japan that live to be over 100 years old.
Really?
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
So now the number of people who would turn 100 between now and next March stands at 45,141 people. And the Japanese government sends out trophies and letters and flowers to people when they turn 100.
Yeah, take that, Smucker's jar. You get a trophy in Japan.
And now, there is a public holiday that is translated roughly as Respect for the Aged Day, and that is celebrated as well. So 88 of the centenarians are women, including the two previous oldest people on Earth who both passed away this past year.
And how old?
Oldest people ever. It doesn't say. It doesn't say. So I remember one time I told my kid, one of my boys, this joke, or they told me this joke. They said, hey, the oldest person in the world passed away today. Do you know what the second oldest person in the world said? Yes. So
competitive much?
Little sushi, little rice patty, little something, and you live to be over 100 years old.
I don't think I want to live to be over 100.
You don't? Oh, we have lots to do, Moe. We have a lot
Well,
of
let's get it done sooner because
I'm tired.
That's really cool.
I thought that was really neat. And I thought...
that gives me high hopes that I might make it to 60.
Well, we were actually talking the other day about you have some people in your family who lived to be over 100 years old.
But on my dad's side.
Oh, and that's not the Japanese side.
No, thank you. Yeah, my dad was white. Yeah, my great aunt lived to be 105. My grandma lived to be 102. My dad died 15 days shy of his 91st birthday.
I'm sorry.
Is that news to you?
Yeah, my dad's white. That's the way you said that. Correct me. My dad's white too, but I was just a big deal.
I was going to say, here's the comeback. So's your dad.
So's your
Up top,
so's
Girl
your
Scout.
mom, but
That's
she's
right.
not. All right, so now it is time for my quirky fact. My quirky fact is very timely.
Most old people are Japanese.
We all know in the past 2 weeks of the very sad passing of the Queen.
Not Japanese.
No, and I don't know why I'm doing this.
It's very racist.
All right, here is my quirky fact. And I'm concerned, and I need you to talk me down because I'm a little worried now. My quirky fact is all of the swans in England are owned by the Queen. So my question now is, who's going to take care of the swans? I feel like we need a... In the arms of the angels, fly away. They can't fly because they're swans. From here. So, according to British law, any unclaimed swan swimming in open waters of England belong to the Queen.
Wait, All swans?
Any unclaimed swan, so wild swans, all belong to
Wait,
the
are there
queen.
people who have swans, like claim swans?
Apparently, pet swans. I don't know.
Well, okay, hang on. I get that the queen owns the swans. Is it possible that A, the ownership and possession and caretakingness of the swans changes hands and is now the king's responsibility?
That's what I'm hoping is going to happen.
A. B. Do you honestly think in your bones of bones that the queen was out there feeding and brushing the swans? Or do you think she might have had someone doing it for her? The royal swantaker.
Every year, during the 3rd week of July, all the swans in the River Thames are counted for the queen in a practice called swan upping.
I don't think swan upping is when you count swans.
It is.
I think swan upping is when you...
So
I'm gonna swan up your...
Swan up yours.
Don't put a swan up anybody's. God.
I'm gonna make a plea. King Charles, please take good care of the swans. Are you singing the Battle of the River? I'm concerned. I hope the swans are okay at the passing of Her Majesty.
Because Sarah McLachlan really ruined the SPCA's.
They'll hold up a picture of a swan.
Just a feather.
Every day. So that's my quirky fact. All of the unclaimed swans in England are owned by the Queen.
For the price of a fountain quill pen, you
per day
can build your own swan.
We should do a big Adopt a Swan campaign. That might be my next project, my life's work.
And this is why I don't want to live to be 100. Because I don't want to be around for the Adopt a Swan.
All right.
Swan? All right. Well, we are happy to report that was the swan song of all the quirky facts.
Nice.
So,
no, it wasn't.
Yeah, no more swan up in anybody because...
All right, Moe, tell us what today is.
Today...
Swan Day.
I'm going to dive onto that. Today is actually National Temperature Control Day. You need to shut the flock up. I quill not.
That was a good one.
I know, I just plucked it from thin air. Okay.
You did such a good job.
I did a good job. Okay, listen.
Could you just sparrow us the details, please? Okay, Temperature Control Day. Go.
And Cricket Control Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's actually this. I think I always thought fall was the first. It was the 21st, but I think today is actually the first day of the fall.
Oh, nice.
The 23rd. But yeah, it's National Temperature Control Day, which makes me think of our lead Janine, who is always cold. Always cold.
Unlike us, who are always hot.
It's not me. It's you and Jen. Always hot.
Hot.
Yeah.
And then I want to punch someone in the throat. Welcome to this season in my life.
Wow, I don't think you should be anywhere near swans. Because they have a really long neck.
I know,
swans and giraffes. Yeah, watch out. Yeah, happy National Temperature Control Day. That's all I got.
Do you fight with people with whom you share your house about the temperature?
The thermostat, yeah. Traveling with Jen and Janine. Jen, who is older than Janine, and Janine, who's always cold. This is what I woke up to every night. I hear somebody at the thermostat. And then about 10 minutes later, I hear Janine walking from the bed with all her blankets. Anyway.
And during quartet practice, Mo and I are always like sticking our heads out the window.
In the snow,
time, pretty much. All right,
it's hard to be hot all the time.
Temperature.
Hot in Japanese.
So hard.
That's my stripper name.
All right. Well, what are we going to talk about today, Moe?
I am trying to think of a swan pun. I was trying to say I swan to know what we're doing.
There it is. Just took a little construction, little hard hat there. That's why you have so much gel in your hair.
I know my hair
serves as a hard hat.
Just make a gel. Good.
Yeah. So I just want to know what we're going to talk about today.
I said it first though, so that means I swanned up you.
We're going to talk about, we just did a fantasy draft.
Yeah.
For quartet.
But for real.
but for real.
We did a real fantasy quartet.
Yes.
Is that how it works?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was, I'm just going to start talking because I know we had actually a briefing about what we're going to talk about on this podcast, but I'll be damned if I can remember it right now. So Katie said the words fantasy quartet, so I'm going to take away. No, so yeah, we actually, and there's a number of reasons that I like this. So 3 years ago, Katie had this idea about fantasy quartetting. So basically taking all these different people and putting together a fantasy quartet.
So let's back up for a second and explain, because we are involved in, if you don't understand the world of barbershop,
you can go listen to last week's episode.
Yeah, go back and listen. So barbershop, it's a special style of a cappella singing that's done by 4 voices unaccompanied, which is what a cappella means. You have tenor, which is the highest part and the best one, whatever. Lead, and then baritone, and then bass. So you have these 4 parts. And that's how Mo and I met, by singing women's barbershop harmony. And so every year, the best of the best go and compete. And again, this is what we talked about last week, because last week was that competition live for the first time in 3 years, which was a big deal. And I thought, well, wouldn't it be fun if you could take like the bass from this quartet, the lead from this quartet,
competing
and
quartets.
Make your fantasy quartet. And I don't know much about fantasy sports. Neither one of us do, actually, but we have learned quite a bit. And then, like, what if we could do that and you could do it on a point system? Well, Mo and our friend Elizabeth, who are brilliant with numbers, made it happen on spreadsheets, and it was amazing.
Yeah, so we had 17 people play and pick their fantasy quartet. And what was really awesome is Joanne Wilson was actually in one of the competing quartets. So she was an eligible, you could have picked her for your fantasy quartet. But she also competed in the fantasy quartet, and her fantasy quartet, which is made up of 4 different people from 4 different competing quartets, and there was 44 competing quartets.
Something like that,
So 44 times 4, so 100 people. Her fantasy quartet won when we looked at all the points after semifinals and all the finals. And so her quartet, so not only did her real world quartet compete internationally, her fantasy quartet won our inaugural fantasy quartet competition. So earlier this week, and so people should be getting them about now. So we made made ribbons, and there was cash prizes, and then we're going to give a donation to the Young Singers Foundation.
Yes,
but
absolutely.
Yeah,
it was the first time that, and I know fantasy sports is like a big thing. And one reason we know this is because the first night that we did trivia at Crooked Crab, we're showing up, we're setting up, we're doing our thing. There's this table of guys over to the side, and they're wearing these yellow sports jackets.
All matching yellow
all
blazers.
Matching. There's this big chart on the wall. People have their computers out. Well, it turns out they are a fantasy football draft day. Yeah, like a league. And that was their draft day. It's a big deal. And like they like took it very seriously. And they were very kind. We were kind of sharing the space, and they were very kind. But like, fantasy sports is a big deal. Yeah,
so we'd be curious who else. Now I know Elizabeth does. So one of the working sessions, and one of the things that, so side note about that, just remind me that. But one of the things, so one of the planning sessions that Elizabeth and I had is Elizabeth does fantasy sports, and she actually took me to a fantasy site where they did the draft, and that you can actually practice doing the draft. And so we had. So she showed me how that works, and so I got some insight, because I've never done that. But I thought it was really, really interesting, and like Elizabeth's so into it. In fact, her draft day, I think it was earlier last week or this week.
I think so, yeah.
But what was reminder of is the concept of having an idea. So whether it was fantasy quartet or fantasy sports, I mean, somebody has these ideas, and I know there's all these ideas out there, and I know there's a lot of books out there about making ideas stick, which is what I'm currently reading, but we'll talk about at another podcast, I think. But the idea of having some kind of concept and then bringing it all the way into fruition. Yes. And again, you and I create a lot of things together. And I think I will geek out about spreadsheets, but really what helped us this last time was having Elizabeth on our team too. And she will always be on our fantasy support team now.
She's quick too, man. You get those numbers and the formulas. That is beyond me. I told, and I think I said this last week, I just use Excel or numbers to make things look pretty, like make my schedule look nice.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we're in there like doing formulas and geeking out.
A equals this, and then B, and then you have to sub 0 and -1, and I'm like, anybody want some cookies?
Well, and
Pretty much all I
Suggs is really good
Yes.
at spreadsheets
Yes.
too. And then Janine helped us a lot. But yeah, so a lot of times, like the work that Elizabeth and I were doing on spreadsheets, I would then send the formulas to Suggs, and
Yes.
because she would try to figure them out too. So
So
yeah.
I love that though. I love taking, and that has been one thing, you know, you and I in our creativity, you're really good at that. I've always been like a big ideas person, but you're so good at making things come to life and making them work. Another example is in our quartet, we actually took a song and turned it into a Mad Lib. If you know what a Mad Lib is, you take out words and then people populate them. So I had the idea, but anything I would execute, it would just be a hot mess of like paper and everything. Mo has this amazing quality amazing ability to turn things into spreadsheets that are workable. And so she turned our Mad Lib into, you can fill in the cells right there and in real time have the lyrics. And it's just, and I love it. I love seeing these ideas come to fruition. It's been amazing. And even the way that we do trivia, and we're working on getting an app developed we have an idea for scoring that, so I love that I like casually just say, hey, I have this idea, wouldn't this be cool? And then usually that's where it dies, and Mo's like, let's make it happen. So who's your let's make it happen person in your life too, listeners? Who?
And I need one too, because I have ideas too, but I'm so busy executing her ideas that no one's executing my ideas. So
Dang.
So we're curious about anybody who's into fantasy sports. Is there any, is there fantasy curling? I don't know. Is that a thing?
Ooh.
Maybe that's a market. It's an unswept market. See what I did there?
See what you
With the
did
broom.
there. And are there any, I wonder around the Olympics if people do anything like that, like make predictions. I think that borders on gambling probably a little, but there's that. So.
I don't think it borders on it. I think it lands squarely. It's the capital of gambling, actually.
But and then
are you unfamiliar with the concept?
ideas?
There's money exchanging hands.
That's
kind of.
Oh, got it. Okay.
I bet you didn't know that.
Yeah. It's good times.
I said, I bet you didn't know that.
Oh, man. Yeah.
I know it wasn't a pun. It was wordplay.
You're good at wordplay, though.
Yeah. When the chips are down, I can.
I
don't know.
Chips. I'm hungry.
I am too. All right. See you.
It's one of these podcasts.
Be grateful. Keep laughing. Stay. No. Katie needs closure.
I do. And closure in the form of a gratitude quote. So let me do that here. But yes,
Closure
tell
in the
us
form
what
of pizza sticks.
what kind of
chips.
What kind of fantasy sports have you
unsweet
done?
Iced tea.
Oh my gosh, stop it. Stop it.
Well, hurry up. Wrap it up.
All right, my gratitude quote today is not here. My gratitude quote today is not on the note that I made from my computer, and I'm not sure where it went. So I've just given Mo some editing to do because I'm going to have to grab my computer and look at it. Oh my gosh. Sorry. Didn't copy over on my note. Mm-hmm. See, you thought this was going to be a nice, clean edit.
You know, I think this is a good time to tell you, my wife kicked me out of the house because of my bad Arnold Schwarzenegger impressions. Don't you worry. I'll return. You know, when one door closes, another one opens. Other than that, it's a really good car.
All right, well, I'm going to close this out with the gratitude quote today. This is a gratitude quote by Audra Lorde. When I dare to be powerful, to use my strength in service of my vision, then it becomes less and less important whether or not I'm afraid.
One more time, please.
I like that.
It's a lot of words.
Because it talks about bringing ideas to fruition.
When you're down by the sea and an eel bites your knee, that's amore. Can you read it again, please?
When I dare to be powerful, to use my strength in service of my vision, then it becomes less and less important whether or not I'm afraid.
Well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. I don't know that it's directly about gratitude as much, but it's a really cool
it talks. It's kind of like about idea execution, and
Exactly.
and it's almost like it's on theme.
I know, right? Crazy. So go out there and make those big ideas happen. Guys, thank you for listening. Thanks for taking us with you as you run errands and exercise and garden and do all of the things. We are happy to be in your ears.
And just a quick PSA, a local wig shop was broken into last night. Police said all the locks had to be changed. I don't care who you are.
Wrap it up.
Funny.
Wrap it up.
Be grateful. Keep laughing. And if you feel like running naked, just spray yourself with Windex. It prevents streaking. Hey, Katie, why is a bunch of kangaroos called a gang and not a gang?
All right, come on, say the thing.
Do you know that a group of kangaroos is called a mob?
It is.
Shouldn't it be called a gangaroos? Second time's the charm. Be grateful, keep laughing. In Civil War jokes, I generally don't find them funny.
One more time. Do it right this time.
I'm gonna give you one more chance. This is a flashback to Dad's
right.
pop-up.
That's right.
So if you're gonna flashback to something, be grateful, keep laughing. And Lance,
I'm gonna turn off your iPad so you can't see any more of your jokes.
Lance isn't a common name these days, but in medieval times, people were named Lance a lot.
Be grateful,
Keep laughing,
and stay positive. We'll see you next time.
Hey, you want to hear a construction joke? Still working on it. All right, we're gonna go see the movie Constipation. Oh,
it hasn't
come out yet. Yeah. Seriously, be grateful, keep laughing, stay positive. Is that the right order?
Yes. Bye.
If you made it this far, congrats!
Woo!
You are part of our elite tribe of weirdos, and there aren't too many people who like us like you do. But that's where we need your help. Rate, subscribe, follow, and share this podcast.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Follow us on social media and tag us in any of your Mo and Katie Show interactions.
Because we give you homework
Using the hashtag TMKSPod.
The Mo and Katie Show has been produced, edited, scripted, recorded, catered, directed, and engineered by Mo and Katie. Our theme song is It Is Fun by HookedSounds.com.
Here's wishing you gratitude, humor, and positivity until we see you next time.